Alright, welcome back to the channel for episode number 6. My name is Denny, and today we're going to explore something that a lot of today's filmmakers seems to have forgot about, which is hard light. It seems like today's standards is soft light. Everybody wants to have the softest light possible every time. But there are some things that only hard light can do. In this shot, for example, where I wanted the moving shadows of the trees behind my actor. Here with the Venetian blind, the silhouette, same with the light rays, here as well, same here. Here I taped some branches into the wall to have some moving textures. You can even see the movement in the light rays. Same here. Again, adding textures, some sun slashes. Here with the soft hub technique, where you diffuse the light on the face, but let the hard light hit the body. I mean, the things you can achieve with hard light are like limitless. So I think it's time to embrace hard light back, like they used to in the 80s and 90s movie. I mean, I'm the first one to use bounces or to do booklight in order to have a flattering light on the actor. But in reality, the quality of the light should be dictated by the mood and the story you're trying to tell, and not by any trending style. Keep in mind that story always comes first. And it's totally the case with this scene we are trying to recreate. So the other day, I was watching Rocky IV, and lighting-wise, this scene stood out for me. Every time Rocky is speaking, he is oscillating between darkness and light. At this point of the story, the lighting reflects the conflict that Rocky has inside of him, and for the first time of his life, his wife doesn't support him. So the lighting here helps tell the story. This scene really stuck in my mind for a while, so I decided to take it as an inspiration. So I'm going to try to recreate this scene, but with my own style and in a way that transcribes how I feel about the scene. So let's have a look at a short part of my scene, and then we'll do a lighting breakdown of it. Let's do it.
Je peux pas faire autrement. J'ai ça dans le sang. C'est ce que t'as épousé. Tu sais, on se refait pas, hein.
Si on se refait.
Non, on se refait pas. On a beau essayer, malgré tout ce que les gens nous diront, on se refait pas. On est qu'est-ce qu'on est.
Ce que tu es ne suffit plus. Tu as vu sa photo en première page. Tu as lu ce que la presse raconte. C'est du suicide. T'es battu d'avance.
Alright, so as I said it, that was my personal interpretation of the scene and not an actual copy of the original one. So first, let's start by analyzing the original one to see what I like and what I don't like. For sure, this hard and cool light coming from below is really beautiful. I think we all agree. It's casting a beautiful pattern of light and shadows. This practical here, which creates color contrast. And I also like the fact that the practical is on this shadow side, which helped to separate him from the dark wall. But I already know that I won't be able to do this, as I don't have the same house. We also have some textures here, coming from the window we can't see. Here, we have a strong backlight, which I don't really like, as it's coming from nowhere. I mean, all of you know that I like motivated light, so it's not the case here. We also have a little light here to make her stand out from the darkness. Now let's take the reverse shot. You'll see that in her close-up, the light is no longer coming from here, as it was before, but coming from the other side. The light changed direction. But you'll see in the next episode why it's something that cinematographers often do, and why actually nobody cares. Cinematographers are actually always changing the direction of the light to maintain lighting continuity, which makes zero sense, but also makes completely sense. So subscribe to the channel to be sure not to miss this very important episode. Okay, as I told you on her close-up, light is now coming from her left, where before it was on her right side. Why change it? Because otherwise she would have been front lit, which means that her bright side will have been facing the camera, which we don't want. What we want is facing the shadow side. This is called far side key, and it's something you want to use most of the time as it gives you more depth and contrast. It's the same here, the camera is on the shadow side. Otherwise it would be front lit if the camera was in the same side of the light. I hope it makes sense. So, in order to shoot, as we said, from the far side, which means, again, that the camera is facing the dark side of the face, we have to switch the position of the light. I hope it's clear for everyone, as I talked about it in a little bit in episode number 4. Now I have to say that I really don't like this hard light on her. Not flattering at all. And also I don't get the meaning of it. This is something I changed in my version. Alright, now time to create my version. For the wide, I'm setting up this light to simulate a light coming from outside, passing through some trees. For that, I'm using a LED cob with a spotlight mount and a gobbo inside to add those trees-like textures you can see here. For the key light, I'm using another LED cob with a Fresnel mount to focus the light as I want and to close the bounders to control the spill. The light is passing through the stairs, which will create the shadow and light pattern on the wall. Then I'm setting up a pivot tube from Nanlite, who will be justified by the practical here. I must admit though that I could have gone way up with the level of this one. You can notice on his shoulder, here, and a little bit on the hair. I wanted something really subtle, but when I see the original now, I really love the punch you get from it, even if it's not natural. I guess sometimes I need to be bolder. And it's great actually, because it's with this kind of training that you learn about what you like, what you don't like. And it's actually how you get better. So next time I won't hesitate to punch up the level, even at risk of not being realistic or natural. Because I guess we don't always need to be realistic. Once again, it depends on the project and on the story you're trying to tell. Also, as I told you, I don't have a practical on this side to separate him from the wall here. I couldn't change the side of it. So that's it. No soft light, only hard light. And I really like it. And even if my actor is not really well separated from the background, as it should be. Hey, I mean, it's what this channel is about. Analyzing, testing things, and learning from my mistakes. So that you don't have to make the same one as well. Now, for the lady. I wanted to express the fact that Rocky is leaving home to go to Russia, a cold place that he doesn't know. So I wanted the light on her to be warm and soft, to contrast with the harsh and cold outside. In that way, she would represent the warmth of his home, and the blue color would be the coldness and the harshness of the unknown and of the unfamiliar. As you can see, I couldn't place a light on this side, as there's a wall, so I used the same LED cob that was downstairs, the one with the spotlight mount, to bounce it on the wall here, to create a kind of fake softbox on the wall here, which would bounce and illuminate her with a soft light. I decided to change the hot backlight and to separate her from the background by lighting up the background, and not her directly. I chose a cold LED light to simulate the outside light. same as I did downstairs. So both shots would match together. For contrast, I added a black flag on this side. And I made sure that I had a checkerboard effect with those little pockets of light and shadows alternating, which creates interest in the frame. And there you go. I took inspiration, I twisted it in my own way, based on what I wanted to express. I learned about what I like, what I don't like, what I can do better, and what I have to work on. We learned how nice hard light is, and that sometimes we should be bolder in our choices. So it's all that matters. So yeah, next episode will be a very important one, as we'll talk about light continuity. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.